centers, voting centers, but at no point was any casualty recorded, any misunderstandings of this nature recorded. Of course, when elections are activated, it comes with its own consequences that you cannot write all of these things off. So if we are able to organize our internal elections and in such a manner, and at the end of the day, all the candidates came and mentioned that yes, they conceded that the election was free, fair, and transparent. I think we need to give ourselves a thumb up. So let me take this opportunity to congratulate every MPP member in this country and overseas for the conduct, the way and manner we conducted ourselves, sending a signal out there that we are a force to reckon with. We are a party that has always set the pace for excellence, and we will continue with our journey of possibilities, because as it is, of course, it is an internal elections. All the candidates are fit for purpose. All of them. I mean, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President, Kennedy Japan, I mean, an MP who has contested and won MP position on so many occasions. I mean, Adenimu has also been an MP. Then Dr. Figure Akuto was also an MP. So these are all grassroots politicians who have contested elections before. But in the case of the winner, who is the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, never in his history has he contested for unit committee, not even school prefect. So this is the first time the candidate of ours, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has contested for an election. And if you contest an election for the first time in your lifetime, which in no less a party than the New Patriotic Party, in a highly the most recognized position of the party. I mean, the flag bearer of the party, the leader of the party, to have a seal, the first time seal, you need to cross 50+1 votes. But you were able to go beyond the 50+1. I mean, it tells us that, yes, we've come a long way. We need to come together, prosecute the agenda. We have a journey of possibilities to embark on. That is what we will do. We work hard and impose our dominance. We will also explain where we took this country from and where we are and where we are trying to head to. And I think that at the end of the day, it will be ours. So on this note, let me say a very big thumb up to the rank and file of our party, and we see how it goes.
Senior, today there's something that most of the young ones will say, and young one. For the first time, my brother has ended, and I will say kudos to him. Let me use the opportunity to also congratulate them. And I would love to start by saying that, as always, we should never forget John 8:32. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So on this score, that's where I will start today's topic. Senior, it was largely a peaceful process without any incident, as Ghanaians witnessed on the 26th of August when someone's eye nearly came out and so much blood was shed. Going into Saturday, because of the numbers and the security, let me commend the IGP and the Ghana Police for a good job done. But for them, the MPP that some of us know, as they exhibited on the 26th of August, that they don't fear blood. The police did so well, and somebody was arrested with a knife. Something.
So police
on him.
26 August.
Senior, going into this, I think history has been made with the NPP, and largely it affects the whole nation, Ghana as a state. The first time a non-Akan from the northern part of Ghana has been elected to lead the NPP. It's the first time. These are academics. The first time a Muslim has been given the opportunity to lead one of the biggest political parties in Ghana. These are purely academics. The facts support that. On this, we realized something, a blunder that was caused by none other but the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. For me, when I say that the NPP also for the first time have the weakest executives from national to the polling station, the weakest ever.
This morning's conversation is not about the national executives. We are reviewing the results of the election.
Senior, the General Secretary said they have elected someone from the north, and that the NDC should also elect an Akan.
Maybe he's responding to what Jomama said some time ago, that the NPP would never elect an ordinary to lead them.
Okay. So I'm taking what you have said.
Possibly.
In his response, he said the NDC, it's also time because they have elected someone who is not Akan. The NDC must also elect an Akan.
They have elected Atamils before.
When they go on that tangent, we also go say the NDC as a political party once had somebody from the voter region, the longest serving president, head of state, Jerry John Rawlings. From him, the NDC had Professor Fifi Atamils from the central region, who is an Akan. But the general secretary, the whole general secretary of the NPP,
maybe he wanted to say
has forgotten about. He wanted to say what?
Maybe
this one. Call him. If you get such a platform that you tell to yourself that you have the men, and you could not know that Professor Mills was an Akan, a Fanti, and you make such a statement, you say what? It was a mistake. Should we say that him being a general secretary is a mistake?
NDC will never vote for an Asante
Senior
to lead them. That's what we are saying. You
that's
will
not
that. Not even vice president. If you can select your running mate from Ashanti and let's see.
Raji, let's listen to him. Yes, I'm listening.
Senior, so we will go into the figures.
Please let's concentrate on.
We'll go into the figures.
He is talking.
No, but
this is
coming because your mic is open. Please.
Franklin Kujo wrote. He said, "No presidential candidate has ever won an election in Ghana if he obtained less than 64% in the internal primaries. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got 61%. They were telling us that the least they would do is 80%. They didn't come anywhere near. Abna was here. I think you were not here. The last time when I gave you the figures that Mahmoud Bawumia would do 60 to 65, and Kennedy from 20 to 30. I got it.
You didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
30. You got 37.
I gave him 20 to 30, and he's in the 30. He didn't get 40.
He said 25 to 30.
When you are doing this, you leave room for margin of errors and all that. That's how surveys are done. Okay. So I got it.
Okay.
Senior. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has a lot of work to do, even within the NPP. It is his emergence that has gotten Alan Chemantin out of the party. It is his emergence that got Boachi Ejaku to move out of the race. All being that The whole thing was cooked for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and it happened exactly. I will commend Akompreko Kennedy. He never had a dream ever in his life to lead as flag bearer. But he just emerged and did so much work to the point that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a sitting vice president, second term, could not get more than 65%. We need to salute
Are you also denying the fact that for a first-time flag bearer, this is the huge margin of victory? You understand? This is the most anyone has gotten.
Yes,
as a first-time flag bearer.
Very well. That's for academic purpose, and the records, the figures support your point.
Yes.
Akompreko is also a first timer. Yes. Even for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a lot of people knew he will come. You know, we are running a system that vice presidents, people seem as a potential flag bearer and president. And also the facts will support that. Professor Mills, once a vice president, John Dramani Mahama, once a vice president, both became president. It is only in the MPP that has never had a running mate becoming a flag bearer. So Dr. This is also a first. So the MPP has fallen into a trap.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Alaji,
I will explain
what do you make of this point that the 61% should be problematic to you guys?
Not at all.
You should be concerned.
Look, let me tell you.
And if your candidate is unable to cross 70,
let me tell you.
It's not that popular.
Let me tell you. 61% of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia goes to demonstrate by all standards that the party were given choice to make. Look, it nullifies this assertion that people are making about establishment. Because you see, let me tell you. When
the grassroots came on board, the dynamic changed.
Yes.
When we had the super delegate election, there was a particular.
Forget about it. Whatever it is. I mean, who were the super delegates? The super delegates didn't all of the contestants garnered some votes. They all garnered votes. I mean, you had MPs following candidates, ministers, sitting cabinet ministers were following candidates. Look, let me tell you. See, I've always said that the party has won, being represented by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But if we are to go deep into some sort of issues that he's raising and all that, these are internal issues that we will deal with internally. But you see, let me tell you. You see, you know, Alan Chamatin movement for change, Butterfly was in Kumasi for the past 4 days before the day. I met them at Bombay Junction in a bus. They came to do some of these things. Okay. They came to lay their influences around.
Because it looks as if the results of Kennedy in Ashanti region is quite encouraging.
What it tells you is that it's a combination of two forces. I mean, Alan supporters were for Ken because of.
But Bawumia had members of parliament campaigning for him.
That is why we are also saying
and even in those
the same
people,
all the other candidates had members of parliament campaigning.
I've not seen any member of parliament campaigning for Kennedy.
But when Allah was campaigning, didn't you see members of parliament?
Didn't you see ministers of state? Didn't you see them? I'm referring to.
But he threw his support. I mean, he's threw his support.
I've not heard him publicly supporting Kennedy.
But he all said and done. I mean, we don't care about these things.
You don't care? You should be concerned.
Listen, let me learn.
Because it means your candidate is popular. Even
please.
He doesn't have the support like that.
What are you talking about? Look, in 1996, 1992 rather, Edu Boy contested. He was our flag bearer. He had 56%.
And in the general election, he lost.
I'm building a point.
That is also another point to consider. That when you get that figures, you mostly lose. Just like
in 2015, John Mahama went with no had 60,000 votes plus. He was a sitting president at the time.
Yes.
So what are you saying?
No, but I'm saying
why you want to lay what sort of thing is this?
My question to you is that anytime you're...
That's why I'm saying that if you are to make this a case, in 2015, John Dramani Mahama, former president, he was a sitting president.
Per history and data.
Listen,
like
his was a popular acclamation between yes and no. No was just an air. No had no agent anywhere. No had more than 60,000 votes, a sitting president. So what are you saying? What we are saying is that, look, the Constitution enshrines that you, in order to be a flag bearer and for that matter a candidate, you should get 50 plus 1.
Okay.
And the vice president, at no point in his life has he ever contested for election. Not even an assemblyman, not even union committee or school prefect. He had never contested for any election. Right. This is first time he contests, and he has 61.4% in no less a party like an MPP who has activated a party which has activated such. Look, it was a killing contest.
Let me ask you
that we exhibit that we saw.
Before I go for my message, I will return to.
What are you talking about?
Based on the data you've given figures, when Edubuahin did around 56 or 52% against John Adjekum Kufuor and the likes, he lost the 1992 election.
So what are you talking about? So what are you saying?
In 1996, when Kufuor did less than 60, he lost the 1996 election. When Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo got 47 in 2007, he lost the 2008 election. Now Bawumia has done 60-something percent. Is he not likely to lose?
Because we embark on a journey of possibilities. And as of today, we are continuing with the journey of possibilities. We are not into the minds of impossibilities. If, of course, others couldn't cross 50 plus 1 or whatever it is. And I'm citing an example that John Dramani Mahama, he was a sitting president. He went into an election, not even an election, popular acclamation between himself, sitting president, and no had more than 60,000 votes. You understand? What this tells us is that we are tripling our efforts. Look, we are going in a marathon campaign with NDC. Take it from me. You see, some of these things, what it happens, it gives us an impression that yes, it's even good we have seen some of these things on time. Because let me tell you, go to an MPP person's DP, you will see a butterfly there. I mean, it tells us that, look, there are more of internal works that we will do.
Okay, let me take
because some of these things has its own understanding, but if you are not in there, you wouldn't know.
Let me take this message.
So you take it and take it in good faith and work
out. When we return, we'll look at Ken's performance and the role that he can play in your campaign. He has already said that if you bring Bawumia, you will lose. It looks like you still need him, even though he has said you guys will lose. So Bawumia, whether you realize it or not, Bawumia, we are winning. We will come back and continue. Stay with me.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities of 1,000 cedis and upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID, no savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. Call Quick Credit today, 0302-200-390 or 059-692-0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
We are all big football fans, but there are some other sports that I'm personally a fan of, like tennis and basketball. Luckily, Betway Mobile and online sports betting has introduced sports, casino games, bet games, and more on their platform for us to bet on. From football to roulette to esports to horse racing. Now we can bet, win, and get paid instantly via mobile money or EFT to your bank. Visit www.betway.com.gh to play today. Remember, bet responsibly, no under 18. Betway, for the love of the game. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Do you need a true friend? Then SIC Life is your choice for life. Enjoy 15% cashback payment on consistent premiums paid for the last 3 years without a claim, as well as a maximum cover of up to 50,000 Ghana cedis with the SIC Life Final Journey Plan Plus. The SIC Life Final Journey Plan Plus provides immediate cash out to meet the funeral expenses of beneficiaries and covers as many as 12 family members. You can now pay your premium for SIC Life Final Journey Plan Plus via mobile money. Just dial *170#, select 2, enter merchant number 307688 and follow the prompts. Call 0501-570-652 today to plan your future with SIC Life, your true friend for life. SIC Life, absolute peace of mind.
So you're welcome back. Evangelist, you've heard from Alaji. He said, I mean, you're not considering the fact that Bawumia has never contested in any election before. This has been very competitive, and he has got his. We should be commending him rather than saying.
Alpha, it even makes their work difficult, which means where Ghana stands today, Ghanaians want an experienced hand. If you have, flagging
you don't
this,
have to contest in an election to be experienced. He has served in governance.
Flagging this, he has never contested this, he has never contested this. Senior, experience also requires that you have gone and lost. All forms part of the experience. When you learn your lessons. Now, it is time we will be putting John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. History has also been made that the two dominant political parties all presenting someone from the northern part of Ghana. It has never happened before. Now, what my brother is saying is that, they are happy. With the 61, they are happy. Let's look at some of the polls that came out. Out of the 208,000, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got 118,210. Kennedy Akompre got 71,099.6, right? This should give them a cause to worry. You can look at the regions that
Kennedy won 2 regions.
Kennedy
Central,
won 2 regions.
Swing region and voter region.
Voter region.
Region for
so
the
for you to downplay the impact of Kennedy, you do that at your own
in fact, in Ashanti region, he won Bosome from Mena.
Absolutely. Some
other. Even Bantama was 48. He did very well in some of those.
So if you are a serious political party and you go into an internal election, you need to sit down
anywhere
and go into the figures. Possibly polling station by polling station. So you can know the task ahead and the work ahead. Well, there's this. There are people who voted for Kennedy because Alan left. I know a lot of them. They will never vote for Bawumia. They are still MPP. They hold party card. But we open up. They tell some of us.
Do you think if Alan had stayed, the picture would have been different?
If Alan had stayed,
we may have a run off on our hands.
It was possible, absolutely possible, if Alan had stayed. If Alan had stayed, Kennedy wouldn't have gotten the 37, but could do between 15, 20 thereabout. And if even Alan also does 2020,
that would have pushed
into a second round. So the MPP has a lot to do. But when you open the microphone for them, only a few honest ones will say, yes, there's a task ahead. Let me read this for you. It's also for academic purposes. There's a quote by one of even MPP, Gabi Ochridakun. He said, MPP has a lot of work to do to break the 8. But it starts with endorsing the candidate massively. Now,
this was before the election.
This was before. MPP, he was looking into 2024, has a lot of work to do. But his premise was that the candidate who should win must have a massive endorsement. Can we say that Bawumia had a massive endorsement?
Do you think there are significant sections of the party rank and file who are disgruntled? Who the MPP will have to work hard to bring them on board?
4 people.
The MPP has a lot of work to do. If Alhaji will keep quiet and be calm,
I'm talking.
Let's have this.
Yes,
it will help. We are doing purely academics. I came this morning to talk about facts and
figures. We are listening to you, please. We are listening to you. Talk to me.
My brother, the NPP has a lot to do. Even when Bawumia should make Kennedy his running mate. Going into the contest, Kennedy also said so many things that they will have to.
I don't know how they can. Okay, but maybe
Kennedy said whether you like it or not, Bawumia as flag bearer can't beat Mahama. The video, the audio, the write-up, they are all there. And Kennedy cannot run away from what he has said. For me, Kennedy's credibility, I have my own perception. I don't trust him.
But people can change their minds depending on the circumstance. Things can change.
He has a right. He is human.
One day in politics is
it's a whole lot. So, my brother, it is high time the MPP calms down and accept the fact that breaking the 8 is a tall order. The figures does not support them. History does not support them. History has taught me, as a political science student, that in Ghana, no political party has gone 10-10 on a run. That 8-year cycle itself is a tall order for you to break. Ghanaians vote based on one. In Cree, they say, 8 years, they are fed up with you. No matter what you are doing, they are fed up with you. And then people will also look at corruption. The state of corruption under you. This is against the MPP and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as vice president. Then people will also look at the economy, inflation and all the figures, prices of goods and services. Today, what is the rate for inflation? Even John Dramani Mahama, who did 15.4, was voted out. You, today as we speak, you are 39. And you think Ghanaians will fall for your tricks and your traps? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, going into, I'm sure next week when we come, we'll be putting the two of them together. And the figures, we will be just bringing them for a purely academic purpose, for the intellectuals to assimilate and take in. This propaganda is over. It's going to be purely figures. My brother here said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, even by popular acclamation, got senior. If we talk about popular acclamation, what does it mean? Purely academic. What does it mean?
Yes or no?
Acclamation means yes or no.
Yes or no. It depends.
Hey,
some acclamations, yes. Some acclamations will just go and raise your hand.
Why is he reading from a different political science book?
My brother, if don't let me go into academic. If you go into academic,
that's why I want us to go there. You don't come and sit on such a platform and you say that.
Guys, look, this is not even part of. So this was just this.
Yeah, of course.
Evangelist, make your point.
No.
I don't know why this is becoming a problem, but it's 29 after 9. You are still listening to the Orange Sunrise on Orange 107.9. I'll take some breather at this point in time. So, guys, if you are listening to me, what? Okay, you relax. We are going to take a quick breather. When we return, we will come through and, of course, continue with the conversation. So you are still listening to the Orange Sunrise on Orange 107.9. We are still having an analysis of the election. I don't know why this is being this is because it's not. There's nothing to even fight over. Evangelist, please. Evangelist, please, if you are listening, I don't know. There's nothing. There's nothing. I don't know why you are angry. Seriously, I don't know why you're angry. Because you were making the point.
Yes.
You asked him a question. He was trying to explain. At least, if you don't want to ask him a question, let's just.
No, it is.
But he was telling you what he thinks. So if you don't agree, then you get the platform and you say, "Oh, I disagree." But the personalization, I don't think it's necessary.
That personalization.
Relax, please. Please,
I don't think. Who brought it?
Relax.
When he was talking about credentials, who brought it?
These things you are fighting over, they are not things that you should be fighting over.
Sure,
you are making your points. Let's just. I don't know.
Did you talk about credentials?
I don't know why we are making. It wasn't necessary. So let's continue.
I don't know why you think.
Make your point. Let's say
Credentials. Who's talking about credentials?
And let him make his point. Yes. I'm listening to you.
What it is that today the MPP has brought Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Going forward, everybody will be looking at all of them, giving the opportunity, what they have done and what they are doing. What have you said in the past? And when given the opportunity, what are you doing? These are the things we are supposed to be looking at. Today, as we speak, we can put John Dramani Mahama, even as a vice president and the head of the economic management team, as against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is a second-term vice president. John Dramani Mahama did only one term as vice and one term as president. So, when we look at Ghana's debt, as of 2016, Ghana was owing 120 billion. Today, under NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as the head of the economic mismanagement team, Ghana is owing 600 billion. When in opposition, Nanado and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia told Ghanaians that when they come, even IMF, they won't go. They will not be borrowing to develop Ghana. The money is here. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said, even citing an example, if we need money, we should tow our roads. And we will be getting the needed resources. Today, under them, where are the toll booths? So these are the things that we will be giving them. And they know. They know they can't stand any. But it so happened that they have made history. We commend them. We commend them. But they are not going to break the 8. It will not happen.
Araji, the 37 that Kennedy did, some say, now you have a challenge on your hands. You need him to support your candidate. Without him, it may be difficult for the MPP. And looking at what some of the things he has said about your candidate, it's more or less you are in a dilemma whether to bring him on board or not. To play,
I understand where you are coming from. Let me tell you this. Mm-hmm. The party has decided to bring the vice president. The see that Kennedy made an assertion that
a lot of them
Bawumia cannot beat Mahama at the time. He was speaking to party delegates to win them to his side. Politics has its own dynamics. Political campaigning in internal elections are entirely different from political communication going to external forces to get the external support. So that was an issue he was dealing with to get his votes. Now, if Gabi says we have a work to do, yes, because this is a novelty. It is something that has never been done, to have a government consistently beyond 8 years. It has never been done. So every novelty comes with its own task. So if Gabi has said that we have a work to do, who says we have no work to do? If you like, activate an election between Satan and God. Satan will get votes. So it needs, at any point in time, you are expected to work and work hard. So we are sending a signal that we will work hard and impose and make a case, for which reason we think that given the opportunity to break the 8, we will do more. Today, if you meet somebody on the street, you ask him, people always use Rwanda as an example. We'll go to Rwanda. Meanwhile, Rwanda President Paul Kagame has been on since 1995 up to date. Rwanda has no vice president. Paul Kagame takes an absolute decision for the country and it works. So you see, in those kind of stuff, political will to do so, all of these things are there for you. Look, the same Paul Kagame, the first son is the first daughter. She's more or less the communication minister there. You, second son, third son, all of them are holding positions in government. So what we are saying is that when we had the opportunity between 2000 and 2008, we did a lot. If we had the opportunity to cross and break the 8 at the time, it would have been a different matter. So we are saying that the 8 years change as it has been, it's been a convention that but that is not what is enshrined. So we think that given the opportunity to go beyond 8 years, we will do a lot. So we know it will come with its own task.
The point that
so that is what we are all targeting at doing.
The point that is being made is that your challenge is well compounded because the face that will lead your campaign is a non-face. Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia has served as the vice presidential candidate. And people say, in this country, we've realized that there's some level of fatigueness that people have for parties in government, especially after they have done 8 years. You have done 8 years. That period is coming back. The person who is now going to lead the campaign is a person that played the second role to the outgoing president. So a lot of the mistakes or a lot of the issues people have, they can easily visit it on the vice president. That's number one. Number two, people also make the point that you internally have a problem. You have a breakaway party. So for a party that is seeking to break the 8, you have a breakaway party from no other person than Alan Kodo-Chemantin. And you yourself have said that in the Ashanti region, they came to do certain things. It means that they have some level of influence in your stronghold. So you have 8 years to break, the same person or a known face, incumbency fatigue, breakaway in your own party. They say it's going to be, the challenge is too much for you guys.
That's why I told you that we are going to, that's why I'm saying that we are going to triple our efforts. You ain't doing to me there. You see, you are speaking from the principles of impossibilities. And we are saying that we are also going to work on the wheel of possibilities. And so we know, as I was saying, it's a novelty. It is something that has never been done. It has never happened. For you to impose something new, it takes greater sort of work to get to whatever you want to do. So we will put all of these things. Look, Bawumia gave a good account of himself when he said that he has his own vision. Yes, a vice president plays a supervisory role. Don't forget that in the absence of the president in cabinet, a vice president cannot chair cabinet meetings. You can't. You cannot take policy decisions in the absence of the president because, you see, we have an executive governance system structure in this country. So most of the things are there that, yes, he is part of the government, of course, yes. And he has always owned it, that, yes, I'm part of it. There are successes between 2017 all the way to 2020. We did a lot of things. We were able to impose and showcase what we were able to do because we brought a lot of changes.
Don't you think the recent economic situation...
When people use figures, talking about legacy debts, but they don't talk about programs and policies that are there that were not there during those times. If you give a figure, where under those figures, we were in darkness for 5 good years. Under those figures, people were moving up and down, gallanting around because they couldn't afford school fees by their parents. Today is a different ball game altogether. At the time, people were crying for chalks in school. those figures were there. They couldn't respond to the needs of teachers at the time. Not even voter attendance registers were given to teachers. Those things, so all of these things comes with costs. So if you think that we wouldn't want to do anything, we will sit aloof, because at the end of the day we will use figures. We also use the same figures to pinpoint some loopholes. Because you see, look, in the absence of good, bad are accepted to be the best. But we are saying that the alternative is empty. We know them, and inshallah, we will work and work hard. Yes, it's a novelty, so we will put our hands together and make sure that we prosecute the agenda.
Let's now do some comparison. Evangelist.
Senior.
Your candidate too is not like he's a new candidate.
Yes.
So you can also say that everything is home and dry for you guys.
Absolutely.
He did certain things that will still come back to him.
Absolutely.
Just like you are saying, Baumia has contributed to certain things that will come back to hurt him. But from where you sit, let's now begin the comparison. I'm starting with you, I'll go to Alaji. What do you think is the major strength that Mahama has over Dr. Muhammadu Baumia? Why do you think people will look at Mahama and say, yeah, even though you've served before, we had challenges, but in this current circumstance, you are the best. You stand tall compared to Vice President Muhammadu Baumia. And then I'll go to Alaji for the same question. Yes.
Absolutely. When we come to this, we will look at how many oil fields did President Mahama administration had. One, which was left by President Kufuor. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was leaving, he left additional 2. So under Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Nanado for 8 years, going into next year, they have 3 oil fields. What does it mean? It means that oil revenues that Mahama got, as compared to what this administration is getting, they are getting more. But look around you. Do you see any sign? Now, their strength has been with free SHS. How much has government spent on free SHS? Out of the over 600 billion cedis, how much has gone into? Less than 15 billion into the flagship. When you put everything together, it's less than 30. It's around 30 billion out of that. Now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as of 2016, revenues received, these are not loans, but the taxes that you receive, 248 billion. Today, as we speak, as of 2020, ending December, this administration has had 830 billion. 830 billion. What do they have to show? When it comes to debt to GDP, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 2016 December, left Ghana at 56%, which means when we try to settle our debt with all the money we have, we will be left with over 34% resources. Today, under John Nanado Dankwa and Baumia as the head of the mismanagement economic team, is at 104, which means with all the resources we have, if we decide that today, let's settle all our debt, we'll be left with 4% still debt. We won't be left with anything and still be owing.
What do you say to those who say,
okay,
if you look at all of these, you're forgetting to consider an outlier situation in your analysis?
COVID.
Absolutely. They say,
Ukraine,
look at
Russia.
inflation from 2017 to 2020 before COVID. It was moving around 9%. Look at the cedi. Even in 2021, it was 5 cedis, 60 pesos to $1.
Yes.
It was in 2021, 22, 23 that it began to deteriorate. Look at the inflation, just like I've said, about 9-point-something%. Now it got to 50-something%, now 39. So some say, yes, I can say, yes, things are bad. But I can look at 2017 to 2020. There was no COVID. Things were good. Economic growth was averaging 7%. And then after COVID, it began to deteriorate. So it could be that it is the COVID. It is not anything. So you can't exclude the COVID in your analysis.
My brother, we all know COVID came. Personally, I ran my business I had to also close down for some time. I paid my workers. Every month I was paying them. We all know the impact. But COVID came with its own blessings. How much money came into the system because of COVID?
A lot of them were loans.
A lot of them were lost.
No,
to
loans.
And how?
Loans that we will pay.
Let's look at the grants.
And when you say debt to GDP, these loans are factored into the debt to GDP.
I understand, absolutely. But let's take the loans out and look at the support that came that were no loans. Ghana had about 22.5 billion. When Ken Ofori-Atta came to Parliament, he said we spent 12.2.
12, and we use the other for budget,
for budget support and all that.
Yes.
Which means COVID brought us so much. We go into John Dramani Mahama's administration. We had energy crisis, right? Dumso, that today they want every Ghanaian to believe that it was the making of His Excellency John Dramani.
Local problem.
Local
COVID
problem
was global.
COVID
you
was
can't compare
global.
Dumso to COVID, can you?
My brother,
This was about life and death. This was global. Global.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand. To quote Alhaji Alidu, I understand.
Yes.
Means that let me make progress.
Make progress.
My brother, yes, Dumso was a local problem. But do you know the impact of Dumso on industry? Even your establishment. Meaning that you never had direct lights from the government source. You had to fuel your generators. If you didn't have, you have to make money, buy genset, and fuel it. It costs you money. We accepted. But Dumso, everybody that studies energy knows that it's not the making of an individual. But Ghana as a state, we are expanding. We are growing. People are building more houses. Industries are being built.
Dumso,
which means
we could have done something about Dumso.
we did.
We could have, yes, we could have.
We did.
We could have foresaw that.
No, Bank of Ghana, World Bank or IMF did not give Ghana money because we were facing energy crisis. If there was any money we took, it was loan to solve our problem. But COVID-19 brought us freebies, free money.
And we spent some of these monies to give freebies to people.
Let's go. How much was spent? Even the rice, they spent 54 million cedis on rice.
You are forgetting
Today,
the fact that at a point in time the whole
Free
economy
water.
was shut down.
The economy was shut down.
Kumasi, revenue were
weeks.
not coming in.
3 weeks.
That has never happened in our history.
The year
So
2020.
those revenues were lost.
Good. Are you aware that Ghana got more revenue as compared to 2021 in the year 2020? Are you aware? The taxes we paid, the figures are there. Ghana got more than we did in 2019 when we had no COVID. Have you checked? That's also a fact that we shouldn't run and allow them to hide behind COVID. It was COVID time that they were sharing money to their political party executives.
So you are saying that the strength of John Mahama over Bawumia is the economic indicators, inflation,
Absolutely.
exchange rate,
Absolutely.
debt to GDP.
Absolutely.
And you say COVID cannot be an excuse. Alhaji, what do you think is the strength of Bawumia over John Mahama? What do you think is the unique selling point?
Yeah, one point. Let me make this point. That when we say budget support, the budget support, you see, when there is an external shocks and external factors of this nature, it affects your revenue indices and others. So you cannot rake in more. By so doing, it creates a vacuum in your expected
Revenue versus expenditure.
And all that. So in that case, you support it just to meet some of the salient ones that you need to get them done. So that is the essence of some of these things. Now the issue of Bawumia, Dr. And former president, you see, yes, comparison. Because you see, the vice president is the current vice president. Former President Mahama had the opportunity of being the vice president.
I think we can't compare.
We can compare. I'm building a case. So as we are comparing as a vice president, what could be attributed to him, what could be attributed
to JM.
Vice President Mahama, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia today. Today, everybody attests to the fact that, you see, I've always said it here, that as for human and governance, you always have problems. They will come and meet us along the way. But your quest and the way and manner you handle it, you find solution to them, makes you whom you are. Look, before COVID, everybody knew Russia, Ukraine kind of stuff. Look, every day, fuel was skyrocketing. In fact, when you go to Nigeria, they are oil producing country. Yes, but they are oil producing country. When we go there, they were accused. They were even getting petrol to buy. The vice president said and said, look, let us adopt a system of gold for oil policy. Because these are people that oil producing countries want gold. We have gold in abundance, so let us also shift from that angle. Today, if you talk about Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia today, you cannot talk about him without attributing gold for oil to him. So as a Vice President, he did that. We were here, people were in doubt. That's why he said, because at the time, if you remember, a liter of petrol got to 23 cedis.
Yes, diesel specifically.
Yes, 23 cedis. But today, it's a different matter.
So it is due to the international market.
That is from where they stand.
The
that is where they stand. That's why I've always said that, look, it's relative. Whatever you hear people say is relative. But you see, but the point of the matter is that before gold for oil policy, where were we? That is where we
can give Vice President credit for gold for oil.
Exactly. That is yes. You cannot do away with that.
And that was an innovation.
It was an innovation, came from him. You heard it. He said he came and mentioned it to the diagram of everybody. That look, we are switching to gold for oil. Today, you can look, mobile interoperability. These are programs that were championed by the Vice President. Look, before we came to power, we went to Equatorial Guinea. There was this agreement between Ghana and Equatorial Guinea to supply us gas because we wanted to come and use them for all the turbines. $3 billion. Vice President went and championed the cause and made sure he went and renegotiated from $3 billion to $1.5 billion. He saved this country $1.5 billion as a Vice President. You understand? Look at this Ghana card and the usage of Ghana card as a supplement to passports from overseas coming to Ghana today. If you are a holder of Ghana card, you can just go and buy your ticket. There you are. All of these things are programs and policies that were championed by the Vice President. So we ask the same question to John Mahama. As a Vice President, what were your trump cards? You had the opportunity of becoming the president. Throughout your tenure, we were in Dumso. It was your tenure, like I said earlier on, that the wife of your vice president went and met teachers in Kwakwarantumi and told them that we will not give you chalks today, we will not give you chalks tomorrow.
What do you say to those who say?
During your tenure.
What do you say to those who say by convention the Vice President of Mahama was the chairman of the economic management team under Vice President John Mills, where we achieved the longest single-digit inflation for more than 30 months.
Yes.
Wouldn't you give him the credit? You look at inflation at the time, you look at the exchange rate was around, 3 cedis something to $1. You look at inflation. So they say if he is the chairman of EMT at the time, and that was his responsibility, the credit must also go to him.
What the chairman of economic management team does? They play oversight responsibilities of all the subcommittees under the economic management team. The economic management team itself, look, economy is always in the hands of the finance minister. That was why Dr. Dufo, when he was campaigning, he said that it was during his time that we had single digit because he was the finance minister. Look, some of these things, if you are not in governance, you wouldn't understand them.
So, in essence,
let's say for instance, if indeed,
let me take your 1 minute. I'll go to him and then we'll wrap up.
If indeed, as a vice president, John Mahama, economic management team leader, he has single-digit inflation. Why, when he became president, we landed in Dumso for all the tenure? Why was it that when he came at the helm of affairs, chalks were not even given to teachers? Not even the attendance registers were given to schools. That was the time we introduced utility bills for students on our various campuses. That was the time we canceled teacher and nursing training allowance. he was then at the helm of affairs. He wasn't the vice president. He was at the helm of affairs. Look, executive president of the nation. So you see, Alpha, as far as you tell us, as far as it is, you just oppose some of these things as against realities.
Okay.
As far as we are embarking on a journey of possibilities, and inshallah, it is possible.
Evangelist, let me give you 1 minute to wrap up.
Yeah.
If you listen to Alaji, he seems to be saying, see, the man serving as the vice president, you can see something that he did that you can credit him for. Gold for oil, digitalization, Ghana. I said, when your candidate was there, there's nothing you can even credit him for.
The way you make your face that you answer the question. Yes. Senior, 1 minute is not enough to attend to all the things that my brother Alaji has said. But I would like to start with the gold for oil. Ghanaians got this notion that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was an economic guru, economic wastegate and all that. But today, when you ask them about economy and you confront them with the figures, they run. And that he is an IT expert today. And that if the economy is in a mess as we find it, don't blame him. Don't blame him. Senior, this gold for oil. Let's do this purely academics. Ghana has been mining for almost 150 years. The gold that we sell, do we take dollars? We go and sell our gold for foreign currency, right? So what really has changed? The gold was already being sold for dollars. If we needed crude, we go and pay with our dollars. Wherever we got the dollars, whether by securing loans from the banks and all that, we have done that over the years. This gold for oil thing, when the NDC comes into power, we will go into it. We know what they are doing with our gold. Gold was already being sold for dollars. And what we were using some of the dollars to take care of the needs that we needed dollars for, right? But today they are telling us somebody brought some idea that you pick your gold and you go